Israel is facing international condemnation.
Israel has struck a displacement camp where civilians were sheltering.
Israel's bombing.
When Israel prepared to strike back on Hamas after the October 7th attack, the Israeli Defense Force, with the help of intelligence services, strategically planned to target the northern part of Gaza first. Soon, Israel started airdropping pamphlets and announcing this news to the people living in northern Gaza, asking them to quickly evacuate and move towards the center or southern part of Gaza, close to the Egyptian border. Ahmad al-Rafi, a young student from Gaza, read this pamphlet and quickly ran back to his home, asking his parents to pack whatever they could and leave their home to move towards southern Gaza to escape from the Israeli attack. His father initially refused to leave their ardent home, feeling it was better to stay and face whatever came rather than move to the refugee camp. However, after several hours of argument, Ahmad finally convinced his father and family to start moving towards the center part of Gaza. Sadly, during this journey, Ahmad was severely injured in an airstrike by Israel, losing both of his legs. Despite this, he survived and continued his journey in a wheelchair, eventually reaching the southern part of Gaza to a place called Rafah. Exactly 8 months after this unforgettable journey, with no other place to go, he and his family decided to stay in a large tent among other Gaza people in Rafah. On the late night of May 26, Ahmad woke up after hearing a loud sound from a bomb dropped by Israel on the tent where his parents were sleeping, resulted in tragic loss of his entire family. This attack on Rafah by Israel had raised a lot of criticism around the globe, as people, including famous celebrities, started a movement in social media called All Eyes on Rafah, highlighting the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. But the biggest question here is this the first attack on Rafah by Israel after October 7? If there was an attack before, then why are we raising voices now? As most of the people around the globe were thinking only this week Israel attacked Rafah, resulting in killing of 45 civilians, which also led to slogans like All Eyes on Rafah going viral on social media. However, the truth is much different. There were significant Israeli airstrikes on Rafah early on February 11, 2024. The Israel Defense Force conducted intense airstrikes on Rafah, targeting what they described as significant locations. This operation resulted in deaths of over 100 innocent civilians. To understand why people are raising voice now, but not back then, let's try to connect all the dots. War between Israel and Hamas already started back in October 7. As this war was getting intense day by day, Israel also started warning people to move from battlegrounds slowly towards south of Gaza in order to at least save their lives. Fear of death led close to 2.7 million people move towards the very southern part of Gaza called Rafah. Beyond that, there is Egyptian border, which was closed after the start of this war. Even Israel declared Rafah as no war zone and promised people that Israel will not conduct any military operations or airstrikes in this area. In this ongoing tense situation, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu released a tweet on platform X from his official account on February 9, but later this tweet was deleted. The tweet warned people living in Rafah to immediately evacuate and move towards another safe zone in Rafah, as Israel is planning for a major operation targeting 4 Hamas militants who are hiding in Rafah among common civilians. But the problem behind this tweet was there is no more place for people to move. But still, people somehow managed to relocate to a kindergarten school. Israel did not spare even kindergarten, as airstrike hit this area, resulting in 12 casualties, including children's. On top of all these problems, people in Rafah do not have food, water, nor electricity. Many are either being killed by airstrikes or dying from untreated injuries due to lack of medical facilities. There are reports and video evidence suggesting that Israeli's force targeted NGO medical camps in Rafah, causing significant damages to equipment and supplies. Witnessing all this major horrifying incident, United Nations, joining hands with world leaders, condemned and ordered Israel to immediately obtain ceasefire, at least in Rafah. South Africa took a step further by filing a case against Israel in the International Court of Justice in December 2023, accusing Israel of severe human rights violation against Palestine in Gaza. But in response of all these warnings, Israel claimed that Most of the Hamas fighters are in Rafah, and the conflict will never end without eliminating these fighters. This sequence of incident led people to start slogans like "All eyes on Rafah" way back from February, on a desperate attempt to make the entire world to question and ask Israel to stop this war. But unfortunately, most of the major countries were still on Israel's side. That stopped this slogan reaching wider audience. It is also believed that Israel had invested millions to shadow help for Palestine-related hashtags on social media to reduce their reach, which came to light in recent times. Till May 6th, all attacks on Rafah were from airstrikes. But after May 6, Israel started sending military tanks and soldiers in an attempt to kill Hamas. After this point, finally the world started noticing Rafah and started protesting all over, and started condemning the US for supporting and supplying bombs. Even people in US questioned the government on why their hard-earned tax is utilized in killing innocent civilians. When this protest started turning violent, on May 8th, US President Biden addressed the nation and warned Israel to stop bombing in Rafah. If continued, it might result in the US not sending any military supplies. With pressure now coming from all the sides, including US, United Nations, and also from the International Court of Justice, to stop the attack on Rafah, but Israel cared least. The result of this was the attack on May 26, dropping bombs on tents, killing 45 people and injuring close to 212, including women and children. The intensity of this attack was evident as many victims were unidentifiable. Following this incident, Benjamin Netanyahu tweeted, saying this was a total mistake, but Israel is not going to retreat without finishing Hamas. Also, to justify this mistake, Israel stated that this attack was not directly on the tents, but when a bomb detonated, a fire tank near the tent caught in middle, which led to this horrifying incident. But no one knows the real truth. We are also waiting for the answer from US on whether they will stop sending military support to Israel, as mentioned by President Biden following this attack. After all eyes on Rafah went viral and major countries like Spain, Ireland, Norway formally recognized Palestine as a state, to defend this support and statement, Israel also started a slogan called "Where were all eyes on October 7? Even we are asking the same question again and again. Where were all Israeli militants on October 7, letting the borders freely open? Let's continue to raise our voice in support of innocent people. Again, thanks a lot for watching this video. Until next time, Sunil Cristiano.